What's up, you guys? It's K-Mac, and I'm here to do another Tophia video. If there's some background noise this time, I apologize. I have a fan on, and it's not, I can't really move it further away from me because of how short the wires are. But I kind of either need this fan or I need to turn it off and turn the air conditioning on because, again, I'm in a part of the world that's like, even right now, it's like only like 85 or 90, but the humidity is so crazy that it like just saps the life out of me. I don't know about other people, but again, I've been to dry heat before, like, you know, Texas and Nevada, where it's, you know, like it hit like, you know, 110 when I've been there, and it still didn't affect me the way that, you know, 90 to 100 degree weather, or even 85 to 100 degree weather with, you know, 80-90% humidity. Like, it just drains my energy. It makes me super fucking tired, and the reason for that is because your body can't do its natural cooling cycle. You know, naturally it can't evaporate your sweat as effectively when there's a lot of humidity, because then the dew point's up, and then instead of evaporating the sweat, it just creates more of it. So that's why you end up getting, like, you know, soaked with sweat and stuff, instead of when it's dry heat, the sweat doesn't stay on you. You'll sweat, but it will evaporate, and then it will cool you down, and you'll sweat more, evaporate, cool it down. When it's humid, you can't do that evaporate part. So I'm just super fucking hot all the time, so I need this fan blowing. But I'm lucky enough that my beautiful wife had to go out right now, so I've got, I don't know, maybe like an hour or two before she gets back. I don't know, see how quick she rushed and stuff, and I will do Tophia's newest video. I started watching it already. Oh my god, I'm never gonna finish this before my wife gets back. Holy shit. And I already watched like at least half of this already. And Vocal, I just left you a message. I had started watching yours on my phone, but now that I have this opportunity to do this inside, where you guys won't have to listen to all that outside, you know, like background noise, like the trucks and everything, and the wind, and the microphone sometimes picking stuff up and sometimes not, you know. Hopefully this fan isn't messing it up too much, but yeah, I'm never sure either, like, what's actually, no, never mind, that's a stupid thing. Anyway, shout out to the usuals before we get started. Usually takes me about 3 minutes to get started. So shout out to Heinzbug, shout out to Santoki, even if they never see this stuff. Shout out to the lovely Tophia Archive, as always, the one who makes all of this possible. This will be the video I'm reacting to. Tophia chooses Teemo and a Switch over visiting her mom, which is pretty accurate based on what I saw. Also, I love how Vocal in his thumbnail, you can't see it here, but he pointed out how she's wearing the same shirt. I pointed that out in my last video, that in her last video and the one before, or at least the last one I saw, the one before it, she was still in the same fucking clothes. So, you know, I used to do that when I would be using dope, you know, like I would sometimes just be in the same clothes for like 2 or 3 days because I didn't give a shit about how clean I was or how, you know, good I looked or whatever. All I cared about was being on time to go score when I needed to, you know? And hey, taking a shower, if my guy calls me while I'm in the shower, that's not good for me, you know? Because he might not come back around for a little bit, and that would not be good. So yeah, I kind of know what it's like to do that, but I was doing it like intentionally because my life was being controlled by a substance. Tophia does it out of sheer laziness. I mean, she literally has nothing else to do all day. They don't have a shower there that she can use once a day. I also have to say this before we get started. One of my biggest motivations to not be homeless is the ability to take a shower whenever I want. I love taking showers. I will take the longest fucking shower ever. I'll shower for like a fucking I'll take like a 90-minute shower until a fucking apartment's water heater is finished. Like, I love it over here, actually, because they use the thing Walter White used in Breaking Bad. Sorry, this is so off topic before I start, but they use like it heats water on demand. It's like this little electric thing that, you know, is next to the faucet, and it automatically is hooked up to heat water on demand. They don't use water heaters here. It's water heated on demand, so you never run out. So that's the great part about it. The downside of it is that everyone here is generally much shorter than me, so the shower heads for certain places are like literally below the top of my head, and I need to like pull the thing off and rinse me down. Anyway, sorry, so off topic. Let's go. I'm sorry I didn't get to see your thing, Vocal. Why can't I hear her? Hang on a second. There we go. She's been so quiet lately. It's so hard to hear her. Like, I'm even gonna crank up her volume in OBS a little bit. Let me see what that comes out to.
I'll sell my Switch and buy stuff on TV.
Yeah, she's like not even hitting yellow. It's like just below yellow.
What do you mean I'm sitting here being laughed at all day? She's gonna end up catching an STD from sleeping with someone unprotected.
I'm gonna raise that slightly more. Sorry, it's the very
Subscribe if you enjoy, please.
a little bit less. Sorry, it's hard to do with this trackpad. That looks like a pretty good adjustment. Let me see. Maybe a little bit higher. It's negative 10 dB. Okay, that's fair. And I can't boost my own mic anymore, so. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Is this fan audible? Hang on a second. Let me fucking turn this thing on. Okay, that was definitely audible, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn on the AC. My wife won't be happy about it, but whatever. That was actually like using up a lot of volume, I realized. So anyway, we're back on topic.
We're 4 days past the 4th of July. People literally have PTSD. People don't even think. And we gotta go through another almost 2 weeks before it windows down. All night. That got, well, I don't know what type of PTSD.
Actually, hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna pause. You want? Sorry, guys. I moved the fan. It might still pick it up a little bit, but I wanted to move it in a certain spot so that the AC like sort of stays in a corner of the room, and it pushes it away from the door where it leaks out. Anyway, sorry. She's talking about a 4 day. I remember what she said. She said it's 4 days after 4th of July and people are setting off fireworks. And oh, people have PTSD. How dare you set off fireworks on the 8th of July? Tophia, when I was a kid, we used to set off fireworks any chance we got. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, every like average 13-year-old boy's dream is to just have like a box of fireworks and their parents not home. Are you kidding me? Like when I was a kid, I loved fireworks. We would go to North Carolina. I'd actually be able to buy them there because they're illegal in New York. North Carolina, they have weird restrictions, like they can't go above 6 feet and stuff like that. So you can't get like the crazy Roman candles or bottle rockets, but you can get decent stuff. And you know, I used to love it when I was that age. Like, what are you talking about? Like, every guy, like, even, I don't even mean just, like, every guy. Every kid loves fireworks. They're fun. Like, that's why they do them every single night at Disney World, you know? Like, behind the castle. So it looks like the fucking background of, like, when a movie's starting, you know? I mean, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, some people get PTSD from fireworks, but this isn't the incident at Owl Creek Bridge, okay? You're not. Sorry, that's a fucking deep cut. If any of you guys are film buffs, that is a deep cut right there. But like Tophia, you're not a fucking Vietnam veteran. Yeah, you have PTSD from loud noises, but you treat it like you don't. Because when I literally made a comment when you're outside a bottle rocket went off, and you're like, "Oh, someone's shooting off fireworks." You sounded totally fine, and then you're like, "It's triggering my PTSD, you guys." But you're talking like totally normally and not like acting freaked out or anything at all. It scares her. She thinks that she's getting shot at because of fireworks. You guys? I mean, come on, Tophia. Like, who do you think you're selling this shit to? I'm sorry I've already started pausing a lot. And give me 1 second. I'm going to try plugging my headphones in so I can maybe hear her better. Yeah. Sorry about that. That totally destroyed my... Yeah, I guess it expects a microphone. If I can't do that, oh well.
Seriously.
And I have a Bluetooth headset, but it's missing the right side. I do that intentionally because when I ride on the plane, like, they fall out sometimes and you just never find them again. Like, if you sleep on, like, you know, like a 12-hour flight and you fall asleep, sometimes that you just never find them again. So I buy cheap pairs. So the side I have, I don't think it's a microphone. Anyway, I'm going to speed her up just a little bit. But I actually am back to the thinking that if I don't speed her up too much, I can talk over her more, and it will actually be faster than me having to pause a lot.
Sometimes if I'm really paying attention, I'm like, oh, I need to, but that just sounded like a gunshot, and I thought it was getting shot at, and that's not cool at all.
So sometimes when she's really, really focusing in on the horrible thing that happened to her, it makes her feel bad. So, Tophia, when you hear a firework, instead of just letting it go or moving on or thinking about something else, you hyper fixate on it and to the point that you have like a panic attack. That doesn't sound like the proper way to deal with it. I doubt your Your quote-unquote therapist told you that that's the right way to do it. That makes no fucking sense.
Time.
And again, you guys, I approached this as someone that hasn't been in the same exact types of therapy as her, but again, just to give you my background, I was an opioid addict, like, from the day I tried them when I got my wisdom teeth pulled in senior year of high school, up until I quit using them. Like, even thinking about them, like, it's still such a good... The feeling you get from them is, like, indescribable, but it's, like, the worst love-hate relationship ever, because you love it, and it does nothing but hate you and literally kill you. So, it's like, it's, like, the most one-sided fucking relationship ever. And, because of that, like, again, I've been around a lot of homeless shelters. I haven't spent tons of time in them. I've been around them, and I've hung out with a lot of people that either lived in them or stayed in them temporarily. I also hung out in a lot of really bad neighborhoods that, like a white guy like me probably shouldn't be in, but, if you know how to compose yourself and how to not act stupid and, just, like, act like it's normal to you, it's not that you can get away with it. But the point I'm trying to get is that, like, I know about shelters and I know about therapy in particular, because for my therapy to get my Suboxone and stuff like that, I have to do at least a year of intensive, or it didn't have to be intensive the last time because I had already done that. Last time I had to do at least a year of outpatient therapy twice a week before I finally got bumped up once again to maintenance once a month. Maintenance means I just go in and see my counselor or my therapist. She's actually LCSW. I don't know if she's technically a therapist or a counselor there. I don't know the specific job title, but she's a social worker. She has a degree in social work, just like my sister. And so I go in, I see her, and then I also see the medical staff for my Suboxone or Subutex or buprenorphine or however you describe it. Sorry, this is, again, like, I'm delaying. Like, we're 12 minutes in, it's only 2 minutes, but I just wanted to give my background on that. And because of that, I've been in a lot of outpatient treatment. Like, from when I first started treatment, like a couple of years after I got addicted, like the first time I ever went to detox and treatment was in about 2012. And, I usually would have periods. I'd be clean for 3 years. I'd come off Suboxone, and a year later, almost to the day, I'd relapse. So then I would do it again. 3 years, a year later to the day, relapse. That happened twice until this last time when I relapsed a third time. Woke up in the back of an ambulance. Someone had saved my life with some Narcan. I still have no idea who did it. If it was the EMT workers, if it was some stranger on the street, I have no idea. All I know is I woke up in the back of an ambulance, and it felt like I was at the bottom of a well. I could barely hear what people were saying, and it just felt like everything was moving in very slow motion, and it sounded like I had earmuffs on. One of the scariest things ever, because I don't even remember, like falling out, I remember standing there, and the next thing I remember is I'm in an ambulance. Like, the fact that I didn't lose my wallet, my keys, that I didn't get robbed or anything is a fucking miracle in the middle of Brooklyn, New York. It wasn't in the worst neighborhood in Brooklyn, but just in the middle of New York City, like...
Wow.
Anyway, the point is, I've been to outpatient three, like, for years and years and years, intensive and regular, for years, either twice a week, once a week, 3 to 5 times a week, if it was intensive at the time, depending on if I actually only went to detox once because my opinion was always, outpatients where you're going to end up anyway because you still need to survive in the real world. So I was always happy to skip the inpatient detox. Some people need that, though, because they need it to get away from stuff. Tophia needs a type of detox to get away from the internet and social media. She would need to go somewhere where they take that shit away from you and don't give you access to it for, 5 days. And that wouldn't even help her that... again, it just keeps you clean for 5 days. Or if it's a 30-day program, it does that. Some people need that. Some people need to be kept away from it for that long before they have a fighting chance. But for me, my opinion has always been wherever I go, there I am. And, as soon as I get out of that detox, I still need to stay clean on my own anyway, and I'm already going to outpatient therapy anyway, so I just always felt like, why not skip that middleman in that equation, if you're able to physically and mentally. Sorry, this is so off topic, but I want you guys to have background on me, so that I know what I'm talking about when she talks about therapy and shelters and stuff. I'm not totally ignorant to all of these things, I have more than a passing familiarity.
I'm sorry, but I don't even know. They have no empathy. That people tell you.
You're like the least empathetic person ever, Tophia. What the fuck are you talking about?
People that went into the war have really bad PTSD. And when you're popping off fireworks like that, you trigger people. And then
Tophia, how many veterans have you seen that have PTSD have an attack from a firework? Yes, that does happen. How many times have you seen it happen? Because I've never seen it happen in my life. Granted, fireworks are illegal in New York, so maybe that has something to do with my seeing less fireworks than her. But get the fuck out of here. You've never seen that happen. That is, you've never. You know what? That's actually not. She lives in shelters, so she actually might have seen that at some point, but not in the way she's describing. It's all about her, the way she's talking. She's just saying it's someone else so that we feel worse, because you're supposed to feel worse for it happening to a veteran than happening to a homeless person like Tophia who refuses to work. So she's talking about herself, though. Like, there's no way that she saw a veteran hear a firework, freak out, and have a PTSD incident where he was hugging his fucking knapsack like it was his like M16 rifle. I don't believe you. I just don't believe you.
That's uncalled for.
Yes, that does happen, but you've never seen it happen. It's
That
never
really
happened to you.
triggered me badly. I mean, the next thing I would pop, I thought I was getting shot at.
God, I really wish. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try and see if my Bluetooth, like, if it picks up audio, my recording, and if because it's so hard to fucking hear her. Okay, it shows that it's picking up my volume. Unfortunately, I don't want to, like, oh man, if I go through all this and it didn't actually pick it up, but it's showing that my mic is picking up audio. I just hope that you guys can hear it. Like, God, I wish I could, like, play back something while I'm recording it. Like, just, like, pause it and go back. I can't. I'm just gonna assume that you guys can hear me. Fuck. Like, this is such a bad assumption. I think that, hang on. Okay, I'm back, you guys. Sorry, I had to cancel the recording to make sure that this audio is being picked up, because a lot of times I'll be talking on the phone with this headset and people say they can't hear me. It sounds like you guys can hear me, at least when I listen to it, so now I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry this is so late, like,
Veterans,
starting
but
out.
even so, there's other people besides veterans that have PTSD. Why
This lets
are
me
we
hear her so
still
much
popping
better,
off
too,
fireworks on the 8th? It does not
because
matter.
people
And
like lighting
sometimes people
fireworks.
can't
Okay?
control their
Kids light
triggers.
them.
It hurts right there.
Like,
I
I mean,
literally thought I was
kids
getting
light
shot at. I
fireworks.
had
When you're
just
8 or
talked
9 years
about
old, you're trying to
my
sneak, like,
situation of being in a
M40s and
carjacking.
M80s and
You
cherry
can't
bombs away to, like,
control
light them,
your
light,
triggers.
light
And the thing
combat
is that
car on
even when I'm
fire, like
crossing the
Sid from
street in
Toy
median,
Story,
the
Like,
cars will
what the
be
fuck are you
whipping
talking
by,
about?
and that scares me. A car
She's so
slows down, that
paranoid.
scares me because I think
Like, your carjacking had nothing to do with another car, so why does a car slowing down scare you?
they're gonna shoot at me.
Why, like,
Especially
that
sometimes
didn't happen to you. You weren't the victim of a drive-by shooting, so why are you so afraid of that? These are the things I don't understand. Like, I understand the PTSD and, like, similar situations or, like, loud noises like that, if she even heard them, which it sounds like the way she's told the story before, she only really heard one of them, but, whatever. Let's just say she did hear both of them. Like,
pop, yeah, that.
what does, uh, I don't understand, like, what this does to help you, or like what you're expecting to get out of this, nor why
That
it's like that bad for you to the point where
triggers
you
me
think
too.
that a
Because it's
slowing
just
down
like,
car is about to
dang, let me
assassinate
get
you.
my portable charger.
Like, what are you talking? Like, that
Like,
makes no sense, Tokyo. You guys see what
people
I mean when
saying,
she's
or
paranoid
people
and
get
delusional
triggered.
and, like,
That's the
totally
thing.
illogical?
Sorry.
That makes
I
no
have hunger
sense.
issues.
Who the fuck would do that?
Sorry.
Like, a random
So what's
stranger?
up
You
with
got,
you?
yeah, you already were the victim of one violent crime. The odds of that happening again in your life, well, because you're homeless, it's actually higher than the average person significantly. Like, homeless people are the victims of violent crimes at higher rates for obvious reasons, especially at the hands of either other homeless people or people with money. But, like, and because they're on the streets and, like, they don't have a permanent address and their health is already bad and it's like they're victimized all the time. She's brought that up too, but, like, that has
You
nothing to
don't get up
do.
and triggered. That's the thing. Sorry. I
That,
have
I'm
sleeping
sorry, like,
issues. Charger.
that has
Not
nothing
how
to do
your
with, like,
fight
the
or flight
PTSD and
senses
stuff.
work. Monica, to address your comment, that's not how that works. It was a firework and it triggered me. Again,
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
triggered it.
I don't know.
I lost a piece of my
There's nowhere for
grinder.
me to
That's
run,
fuck out too.
and
The world's
also
shittiest
I'm
grinder
not just
anyway.
gonna
They
get
probably
up
there's
and
like 50
run.
pop.
That's
Uh,
not how my fight or
it's
flight
just like not even
senses.
$2.
Sometimes they
Sorry, I
don't
just kind of
work,
gave away what it
but
was.
people
Hopefully
need to
nobody
be
listens to that.
mindful.
Or
It
maybe I'll go
doesn't
back and like
matter. how someone reacts.
record
It's the
some
fact that
audio
people
over
need to
that.
be mindful
Marks
that
this
there's
time
people
that
around
time
them
stamp actually.
that may have PTSD and
For
may get
me,
triggered.
it's
We are the 8th. We are not
let's
the
see
4th of
that
July.
is.
The 4th of July is over with, so why are you blasting fireworks? There was someone literally on the neighborhood app, because the neighborhood app is centered around the area I was at,
At least I gave away
that
the
a mother
currency
was
where I'm
literally
at. It
asking
doesn't
people to
necessarily do
stop
away where I am
lighting
because I
the
could be in
illegal
a neighboring
fireworks because it's
country
scaring
and
her son with
actually
autism. Again,
might be,
these are the
but
things that people need to be
that's
mindful
the
of.
main one
That's
for
not
me.
being mindful. It doesn't matter. We are the 8th. We are not the 4th of July
But
anymore.
I'll just
How
say
is
I'm
someone going to get over PTSD? That is the stupidest thing I've
frequently
ever heard
very
or ever
even
seen
more
from a
east of
comment.
where
Get
I'm
over it. You don't get over PTSD. That is
at.
the
Yes, you
stupidest
do.
thing I've
People
heard.
do all the time. It's
And you're
called
just as dumb
therapy.
as Trump.
Like
Just inject
it's
yourself
called
with
going to
bleach
therapy.
and you
She keeps bringing up this bleach thing that Trump said one time like 6 years ago during COVID. It's 2026. COVID ended 2021, beginning of 2022. Beginning of 2022 is when the vaccines came out because that's when I got my vaccine immediately so that I could go overseas and visit my wife. And I remember going to Thailand at the time, and once again, I just gave away where I am. I'm such a fucking idiot. But like I remember, whatever, it's too late. Like I flew. Fuck, I'm gonna restart this. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to fucking include all this
won't
fucking
have
deleting this.
COVID.
Sorry, guys. I'm back. I just wanted to make sure that the Bluetooth headset I have in was picking up audio because a lot of times I'll be using it like on the phone and people will say they can't hear me. So then I have two videos I have to combine. Um, I have like the world's crappiest grinder. It was like less, it was probably $1. It's this plastic one, and I lost a piece of it, but it was already snapped in so many places that like it doesn't even hold together anymore. And but the worst part is that the holes are so tiny that nothing ever goes from the top into the next layer. You have to actually flip it upside down. But yeah. So anyway, let's keep going. And I actually had just recorded about a minute or two, but I gave away some personal details I didn't want to, so I'm
About
re-recording
my
this.
situation of being in a
She
car
talks about her
jam. You
PTSD,
can't
and what I
control
don't
your
understand is she talks
triggers.
about how like
And the
she's
thing
afraid
is
when
that
a
even when I'm
car
crossing the
slows
street in a
by.
median, the cars will be whipping by, and that scares me a
Like
bit
yes, whipping cars whipping by when you're standing right next to them is
too.
scary, Tophia.
Because it's just
We all
like,
know that.
dang, let me get my portable charger.
It's
I
just
have
like,
to plug mine
dang,
in
what?
before. People were saying, oh, you didn't get triggered. That's the thing. I don't even know. Sorry.
Who said
I
that?
have super issues. Sorry. I don't care. It's a
I
weapon
don't think you got
against me.
triggered by
You want to
that.
get up and
I don't think you got triggered by cars going quickly. And she's about to say she gets triggered by cars slowing down, thinking that they'll drive by, like engaging in a
freak out.
drive-by
If
shooting. Sophia, you were the victim of one violent crime, right? Now, generally speaking, the odds of that happening again in your lifetime is pretty low. However, you're homeless, and these things happen to homeless people at a much, much higher rate than the average population. Like, probably an order of magnitude higher for a variety of reasons. Like you don't have a permanent address, you're on the streets. People sometimes on their streets resolve things immediately. They don't call the police, and by the time you call the police, since they're homeless, they're gone, and they don't have a home to go find them at. So like, yeah, and that's why she's always talking about her stuff being stolen. But she's paranoid to such a degree that like what happened to her was not a drive-by. It didn't involve all this other shit that she's talking about. It was a single guy who carjacked them because he saw a car with people in it and realized, oh, there's keys in there. Like I can start the car. Most carjackers, 2026, Sophia, don't hotwire
he was getting
cars.
shot at.
It's not a movie.
That's not how that works. That's not how your fight or flight senses work.
Kind of
To
are.
address your comment, that's not how that works. It was a firework and it triggered me. Again,
So, but what do you mean by triggered you? Because I have the recording of you sitting outside when a small bottle rocket goes off, and you go, "Oh, they're lighting fireworks," like totally normally. And then 5 seconds later, it's like you remembered that you were supposed to say, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's triggering me right now. I have to get out of here." But she sounded the same. She didn't sound any. There was like no sense of urgency or fear in her voice. She just sounded like performative almost. So I'm sorry, guys. I'll
for
pause for
me,
long. I'm not supposed
I
to.
don't know.
Especially because
There's
I'm
nowhere
not
for me to
speeding
run,
that
and
much.
also I'm not just gonna get up and run. That's not
Why?
how my fight or flight senses.
What are you
Sometimes they
talking
don't
about?
work, but people need to
Your
be
flight or fight senses don't work?
So then why you this is what I don't get about Tophia. She's like, oh, this how that's not how flight or fight works. But then she says, well, that's not how it works for me. It actually does work that way for me. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just spent 2 minutes arguing why the way someone else said fight or flight was wrong, and then you're like, well, I actually don't even do it the right way, and the way that I'm talking about is a total lie, and that's not how I react. Like,
Mindful. It doesn't
this
matter.
is why people call you a liar. This is why people call you a pathological liar like me. This is why no one believes
How
you.
someone
Like
reacts.
you can't
It's the
even
fact
keep
that
your
people
story straight for a single
need to be
sentence.
mindful that there's people around them
And
that
again,
may
she keeps
be.
saying mindful, and it triggered me. Like it triggered you like a Vietnam vet. He had like a flashback and grabbed a pistol and started shooting people. Like that guy that got stopped on the highway who was having he was a this was a long time ago. This old vet, he got stopped veteran. He got stopped on the highway. His poor dog, his dog was in the car, and he was literally in the middle of a mental breakdown. He got out and he shot the cop like without even thinking about it. Dude was out of his mind. Like he had a total mental breakdown. I don't remember if he was found if it was insanity or rarely does insanity work, even if you're as crazy. This guy was out of his mind. Like there's a lot of people to back that up, a lot of professionals and a lot of people that knew him. But when you shoot a cop, it's rare that they will even extend that to you. So even if you prove it.
Have PTSD
But
if they
this dude had straight up PTSD when he got pulled over. He was in the middle of having a PTSD episode. And so he heard this guy start pointing a gun at him and giving him directions. So what he did was he grabbed his rifle right out of his car and shot like a perfect spread at this cop. And I don't remember if the cop died or not. I think the cop did die. And it's a really unfortunate situation. I think he got arrested afterwards if he didn't off himself. But like he was having a total mental breakdown. He was homeless. He was living out of his car with his dog, and I I think the last thing he even said before it all was like, "Make sure my
triggered.
dog's
We are
okay."
the
That's what,
8th.
you know what I
We
mean?
are not
Like
the 4th of
dude had a
July.
total mental
The 4th of
breakdown.
July is over
That's
before
what a fucking PTSD
like
episode is like,
blasting
Sophia.
fireworks.
A PTSD episode is not where you hear a firework and go, "Ooh, a firework." That triggered me, you guys. I have to run inside. That's not the same thing. They're not even the same
It was
ballpark, not
someone
even the same
literally on the
sport.
neighborhood app
You know
because the
that
neighborhood
saying?
app is centered around the area I was at.
The
That
neighborhood
a
app.
mother was literally asking people to stop lighting the illegal fireworks because it's
Wow, a
triggering them.
mother of young children who wanted them to go to sleep is complaining that people are lighting fireworks on 4th of July. I've never heard of that happening. Sophia, can you tell me more about that really unique situation where a mother is upset that fireworks are keeping her young kids up for so that they don't get sleep for school? I've never heard of that happening before. No mother in history has ever complained about fireworks. Please tell me more about this
And her
interesting
son with
story
autism.
on the
Again,
neighborhood app.
these are the things that people need to be mindful of. That's
Yeah,
why
be
we're mindful.
mindful.
It doesn't matter. We are the 8th. We are not the 4th of July
The kid's
anymore.
not even
How is
in
someone going to get
school. It's
over
the middle of the
PTSD? That is
summer.
the
Like,
stupidest thing I've ever heard or ever seen from a
what do you
comment
mean?
get
You do
over
get
it.
over it. People do
You
get
don't get
over it.
over PTSD. That
They still remember it, but they get over it to the point where it doesn't impact their life. Like it doesn't reduce the quality of their life. That's the goal for most treatments, in my opinion. Even in my treatment with Suboxone and shit. Like the goal is to get your life better than it was before the medication, right? And if you compare my life on Suboxone to when I was off it and just using like every 1 out of 4 years, my life was a total disaster during that time. And now that I'm on medication, my life is normal. I wake up at 5:45 every day. I start work at 8 o'clock. I get out at 3:45. Super fucking boring. I then take either depending on what day of the week it is, I take one of two night classes. Either this time it'll be discrete mathematics, or I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head. Something with maybe this one's Linux systems, and I already did microarchitecture, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember. Either way, like that's what I do. I'm boring. I don't even have time for the gym.
is
So,
the stupidest thing I've heard.
like, what do
You're
you do,
just as dumb
Tophia?
as Trump.
Like, and
Just
and me
inject
saying I'm
yourself.
boring, that's me working a job, going to classes, doing the work for it, and I'm calling myself boring because like that's kind of just what I do. So yeah, I don't know like what.
Each and you won't have COVID. Did you know if you inject yourself
Why
at
does
least
she always bring this up? He said this shit like 6 years ago. What does it matter? We know that Trump and his health department and his fucking RFK Surgeon General or the head of the health department, whatever the fuck RFK is. I have no fucking clue if he's. I can't remember if he's Surgeon General or just head of that Department of Health. Either way, he was totally unqualified. And by the way, he's a fucking grifter. His own kids have gotten every single vaccine that he preaches against. Just so you guys know that, because his either sister or cousin told told everyone that he's like called him out for what he was. He's nothing like his dad. His fucking poor dad. One of my someone I admire as much as the brother as JFK. Like our kid's a very admirable person and a very good one. And like he must be rolling in his fucking grave to hear his son talking about dumping dead animals in Central Park and telling people not to get vaccines and shit and like being part of mass deportations when his father and uncle were two of the biggest drivers of the Civil Rights Act that was eventually signed into law after, I believe, after JFK's assassination, or after, well, it would have also been after that then, and after the assassination of Martin Luther King. And by the way, RFK, the original RFK. After MLK was assassinated, pretty much there were riots in every single major city in America for obvious reasons. But he was in Indianapolis at the time, Maryland, I believe, and he gave a very, very poignant speech. And in the speech, sorry, this is so off topic, but this is just a much more interesting topic than like Tophia sometimes. And he gave this speech where he talked about the death of his brother for the first time ever publicly. And it was like his speechwriters had already written something for him, but he rewrote the entire thing. This was all his own words. And he talked about, how God, it's even like made me a little bit emotional saying it because it's such an emotional thing that happened to this guy, right? His brother was the victim of political violence. And so was Martin Luther King Jr. And he brings that up. He says, I actually know what it's like to have a family member killed by a white man. And he empathized with these people and the loss of their leader. And Indianapolis was pretty much the only major city that had no race riots as a result of MLK Jr.'s passing and his assassination. That's what Robert F. Kennedy did for things. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. undoes vaccines so that we now have measles outbreaks and shit like that. Why are you still talking about this bleach shit? There's so much more timely health shit that you can talk about, like their changed vaccination recommendations, like all this other shit you could be talking about, and you're still talking about injecting bleach. Sophia, COVID's still out there, but we're not in the middle of a pandemic anymore. It doesn't fucking matter, and we all know that's bullshit by now.
Shit prevents COVID. That's what Trump
And they never said it
said.
prevented it. They
If
said that
someone
he might.
decides
He
to
said it
define
might
PTSD,
cure it.
that's the
What he
stupidest
said
thing
was
I've
there
ever
might be
heard.
some sort of
What
way
do
to
you
do
mean
it, which is
define
crazy.
PTSD? I had PTSD.
There are different kinds of PTSD. You said that yourself. In the last video I did with her, she said it herself, and I agreed with her. There are, and there's levels to that shit. Like the Vietnam vet I just mentioned got out of his car and shot a police officer.
That's something that
Very
is hard
different
for
from you,
me.
Sophia.
You never really overcome because you can't.
I actually am doing
So
much
you
better with
can
the time by
overcome
not
being afraid
speeding
of
really.
driving, right? You were probably afraid to drive, and eventually you got over that fear. But again, some people with PTSD, there's different types of PTSD, which I did not
You
know.
just okay? Did she not just say a second ago there aren't? Didn't she just say aren't different? Am I having a stroke? Did I mishear her and she said there
So
are?
there's
It sounded like 5 seconds ago she said there aren't.
more
So
severe ones, and then there's ones where eventually, you don't have the symptoms of PTSD; they go away. But for PTSD,
that can happen with more severe ones too. Again, it requires therapy, psychiatry, psychology, a mixture of medication therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, where you actually have to change your actions
it's
and
not
thoughts.
something that someone
That's
can
deeper than just
overcome. It
regular
is
therapy.
something
CBT,
like
that's when you
in
start
my
to make
situation, I
changes.
was in a carjacking, so loud popping sounds out of nowhere will trigger me. In some instances, if it
But they're
sounds
not out of nowhere on the 4th of July. On the 4th of July, people are lighting fireworks. You're very aware that that's going to happen. You talk about it. You say it's going to, like, what are you talking about?
enough to the gunshots that I heard
That's
were
not a
because my brother got
surprise to you.
shot in
You
the
should
head.
know that they're lighting
That's what I'm saying
fireworks
with the
off on the
gunshots.
4th of July. How do you not
Some
fucking know
fireworks
that?
don't really trigger me.
Oh,
If
some
that
don't
makes
trigger her
sense. I can't
conveniently.
choose what triggers me and doesn't. because
Okay.
someone
She
else
can't
has, let's
choose
say,
what
a
triggers her or
puberty
doesn't.
might trigger me.
It just
Because
might or might not.
I've been
Hey,
triggered.
she might get triggered by a kitten. She might get triggered by a kitten getting its head chopped off. You know, they're basically the same thing. I can understand
By girls
why one
that
would
didn't really
trigger the
trigger
other.
me at first.
What the
It's
fuck is
not
wrong with you?
overcoming it because you
That's so
can't really
stupid.
overcome something that you don't know when it's gonna happen.
Yes, you
Which is the
can.
part me.
You
It's
just
hard.
talked
Going
about
through
how
part makes
people
those parts that are
overcome
like,
PTSD, and
and
you're
I need someone
already.
who
She does this all the time. She always puts the fucking cart before the horse. She just talked about how people get cured of PTSD doing it, some people, but she's not even willing to try because she's saying it won't work on her. Once again, cart before the horse. She's
was
not even
triggered
trying.
from the pops just because of
What? Like,
things
so
that
gross,
they went through.
so greedy,
And
so
it's
selfish.
just define it. Why would I have to define PTSD? I don't have to define PTSD.
It would be
Why
nice
does
for your
PTSD
to
need to
hear
be
your
defined?
definition of
Why
it.
do you
Yeah.
want to be disabled so bad? What? Nobody wants to be disabled. What are you
You
talking about?
do. You're a
We're all
liar. That person's
disabled.
100%
I have a
right. You
learning
do.
disability.
Because you've applied to every fucking disability program ever. You're about to bring up your learning disability right now, even though it's not a disability that qualifies you for disability. But you're going to bring it up to say that you deserve disability. Even though you just said you're not so eager to be a disabled person, but you're about to complain that you don't get disability. Watch me be right in 10 seconds.
And PTSD literally stems from trauma. That's not being disabled. PTSD stems from trauma. And because I went through a lot of trauma, it wasn't just from the carjacking.
So if that's not disability and it's just trauma, then you aren't disabled. And a learning disability is not a deep unless you're learning disabled where you literally, and I'm not being mean, I'm using the clinical term, unless you are meant if you have mental retardation like extra chromosomes or something very similar to that, like something that drastically affects your ability to just function normally, let alone in a class, you know, like I'm around a lot of special ed kids my whole life. And I don't know, I just always treated them like as normal as I could. You know, I feel like that's the best way you can behave around them to act like a normal human being, so they don't feel singled out. But this is my own opinion now on it, and I've just been around them for a long time because my mom taught special ed for a long time. So,
Especially people
and I work at a school now, and
when
I see
people
a
would
lot.
send people to the door and tell them to bang on the door. That triggered me. And maybe
Wow, someone
depression
banging on the
does
door.
not
It's literally like
tackle over
anything could
one
trigger her. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even have to be a loud noise, I guarantee. She
incident.
might get triggered by someone looking. Like she was talking about getting triggered by a car slowing down because she thought they might do a drive-by on her. The fuck you, Sophia, no one is trying to do a drive-by on you. Like, what are you talking about? You weren't the victim of some targeted violence. It was random violence that happened because you happened to be in a car that late at night, and the guy saw that and said, "Oh wow, they probably have keys in there. I should steal this car." Because again, the average person in 2026 can't hotwire the average fucking car nowadays. It doesn't work like
And
that.
that
Their
was,
fuse
I
systems aren't the same. They
probably
have
had
like
major
electrical
depression,
control
but
units and
was
everything. It doesn't
undiagnosed
start the
because
same.
when I, at my old apartment,
Maybe I'm
I
wrong about
just
that. I'm not a
would
mechanic.
sleep
Maybe
in
there
a
is a way
dark
to do
room.
it still,
I
but
would turn the blinds around and turn the blinds the other
it's not
way
like
so it's
back in the day
dark.
where you could find the fuse for
I would do
ignition and
that,
the
and
fuse
I
for
would
the
sleep
car,
in
you
a
know what I
dark
mean? And
room.
the
I had
battery,
a
just like tap them
plastic
together.
water bottle. Just a lot of things triggered me. It wasn't just the carjacking, you know what
Of
I mean?
course,
But
it's a lot of things
anyways,
triggered.
no, my
It's not
brother's
just the
comment was
carjacking.
last.
A lot of things, even though the carjacking is what happened to her and like the actual event of what happened to her and everything, she just gets triggered by whatever. It could be good things, could be bad things. Like I said, it could be a cute kitten triggers her, could be a cute kitten gets head decapitated triggers her, you know. It's a really broad range for Sophia. It ranges from the worst things ever to the best things ever could trigger her. She could be on a fucking ra cloud that's a rainbow with a pot of gold, and she still might get triggered if the gold made a loud enough noise falling into the fucking pot from the leprechaun. Like,
For getting triggered by something
unbelievable.
that
Like,
violent.
you're out of your
No, I
fucking
don't
mind,
really want to
lady.
do the medication. It makes me want to
Shit.
take depression
Oh,
medication
here's
and
her.
some other thing. I don't.
Here's her fucking loves to talk about medication. Hey, do you guys know that medication has side effects? I don't know if you guys know this, but medication, there's side effects. You got to be really careful when you take medication because of the side effects, because You don't want to have side effects where you can't have those side effects or have side effects that make things worse for you. Never mind the fact that there's side effects, and usually side effects happen in 5% or less of the people taking it, and that's why they're called side effects. And they also publish all this information. If you've ever bothered to read a single prescription you've ever gotten, like that gigantic pamphlet that comes with it, if you've ever bothered to read even one of those, you would know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you clearly haven't done that, so you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. And the medications, like, yes, there are side effects. There are more common side effects. Those might happen in 10% or less of the population. Uncommon side effects, 5%. Extremely rare side effects, 1% or less. Sometimes 0.1%, depending on the type of side effect. They want the reaction to be that low, like an anaphylactic shock or something like that. So, Tophia, all those side effects you're talking about, first of all, you might not even get any of them. And second of all, it doesn't matter because you need the main medication, the main thing in the first place, because your life is a fucking disaster, and the only way you're going to get out of it is a mixture of extreme intensive therapy and medication. Those two things combined are the only way you're going to change. You will not change otherwise, which means you will end up in a fucking tent under a bridge. That's the logical conclusion to when you finally get kicked out of your last place and you've totally worn your welcome out everywhere. That will be the logical conclusion. And it's just wild that you can't see that coming, or if you do see it coming, you don't care. I mean, like, it's just crazy, you guys. I'm sorry I'm pausing. I was actually doing a better job up until now
Residual side
of
effects.
like staying
Bro,
on
I can't
time.
speak.
Damn,
Not
now I'm
getting
like 10 minutes
medicated
behind. I
for
was
my
actually
cough,
really
so
close to like a
didn't
one
really
for
catch
one
that.
up until
I
then.
don't listen to Cat's Eye and Somber. I don't really
No
listen to
idea who she's
Somber like
talking
that,
about,
but thank you for the heart, me.
as usual.
The Princess
Just
collection. It's from Bath and Body Works. It's the Princess one, and then I use this. I wear this. I layer it with the warm musk. It's
wow,
called
you guys,
warm
she
musk,
uses
but it's a vanilla
a
scented. Cause I like
33-year-old
vanilla
woman
scents. I like
uses a makeup
scented
kit or whatever,
perfumes.
or
I
it's
don't.
called,
It
or whatever
depends
she's
if
talking
it's a
about.
sweet
It's
smell
called
or
the
floral scent.
Princess
Not. I
Collection,
can't
you
do floral
guys.
scents.
Because she's a
I don't like
Disney
floral
princess.
scents.
Sophia looks like a
Smells.
Disney
I don't know how
princess.
people could wear.
Can we do a poll? Should I do like a straw poll? Like, what Disney princess does Sophia look the most like? And I remember someone in one of her chats once said Ursula, which is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard because it's very accurate. So, because she's a nasty person
You know what
and
I really want right now?
she's
Chicken
rotund.
nuggets with Big Mac sauce. Just
Of
get no,
course.
not even that. It's a cheeseburger with Mac sauce.
Oh, cheese
Get a
instead.
cheeseburger with Mac sauce.
I'm a big
Thank
fan of
you
the double
later.
cheeseburgers at
Cheeseburger with
McDonald's
Mac
and
sauce.
Burger King or
That's
whatever
all I
versus
ever
like their
crave.
things.
Ever
I
said
do like a
somebody put
quarter
me
pounder
onto
with
a
cheese.
cheeseburger with Mac sauce?
I haven't
Not
been
if
to
they
a
sell the
fast food
cups
place in
of
fucking
Mac
forever though.
sauce.
I
I
think I
went
maybe
back to
went
eating the Mac
once in
sauce
the
and chicken.
past year, like when I was on a quick break from work and I just needed any sort of food inside of me. And shit. And like I haven't had Burger King in like 2 years. The last time I ate it over here in this country, I got
You know,
violently
you like
ill,
my age. What
and
are
I
you doing?
swore I wouldn't eat it again, and I
Can't do
haven't since
nothing.
then. I
Shrinkage is
swear to God, I got fucking
with
food
my hair.
poisoning.
Shrinkage is a
And then
thing.
last time I had
Cause
Chick-fil-A,
my curls shrink.
I and my
My
dad
hair is pretty
both got
long.
so violently ill. I've never
I
seen my
work
dad
to
throw up in my entire
this
life,
school.
and he was puking just like me, like constantly. What is going on? Why is there? What is going on, you guys? Why is there no fucking? Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. What the fuck? Excuse my language. I'm trying to. Okay, hang on again, you guys. I have to stop. I'm gonna have to combine all these files. This is gonna suck. Like, hang on a second, guys.